Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 206. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else the gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and all things firearms related. In this show, we don't have a review today, but we'll be discussing the new Bushnell optic, their XRS2, and the Zenith Firearms Z43P. And tonight, along with, I guess, me, we have the infamous Tony, the infamous Rob, and some loser named Zane. So
infamous and a loser. So that's what we are now. We're okay. Game on. Game on, Gramps.
And as people that actually listen to this podcast know, we are probably kidding. Probably. So what did you guys do in firearms? Rob's first on my list tonight.
Well, in honor of our resident Glock aficionado, I decided to go to the range last weekend and have a SIG day. Yes, I took my SIG 320, my SIG TAC Ops, and my SIG MPX that I turn your volume down, Tony. My SIG MPX that I did the Form 1 to do an SBR with a silencer on it. I took that to the range with my new SIG Romeo 5 scope or optic. It was a fun day. 9mm is always fun. SIGs are always fun. Good days. Happy days.
Nice. I will say that's pretty nice.
Silence is golden.
Silence is golden, and anytime you get to SBR anything and put a stock on something short is just sweet.
Pistol. Who says you don't need a pistol caliber carbine? That's a sub carbine right there, right? And here we go with Zane. He's probably going to attack me now.
Yeah, I say you don't need one, but there's that.
Yeah, well, okay, so we'll go to Tony. He's next in line on my little picture screen here, and we'll see what kind of diversity stuff he did.
Didn't do any diversity stuff because that's on the 30th. What I guess it was a diverse group that of chip holders that showed up at the Minuteman chip holder championship Sunday. Was awesome. Everything was held in surprise. So we had 5 guys come out, set up 5 different targets from RE Factory Tactical. We had the IQ training targets out. We had the different exercises set up, different drills. And we had 2 drills per firearm. We had, what was the name of the company? Modern Material. I'm sorry, Joe. Modern Material Rifles, the only AR manufacturer in New Jersey, actually came out and was a sponsor for the first 2 drills. So people got to shoot their coolest guns for 2 drills. And then we just started eliminating people per drill. It was awesome. We got to have Matador Arms, Sabertooth 2 chassis. That came out. That SKS came out. And we just had unique guns. We just had different unique firearms that people hadn't shot yet. And after every set of drills, a person was eliminated. So it really came down to 2 people, rapid fire, Sega 12 shotgun shooting slugs at 15 yards on a 6-inch target.
Ooh, I like that.
Dude, ounce and a half, 12-gauge slugs, rapid fire, 6-inch target, 15 yards.
So was that done in Jersey or was that done in Pennsylvania?
That was done in Jersey because it didn't have a pistol grip. The semi-automatic didn't have a pistol grip. It was legal.
Oh, so it wasn't an evil shotgun.
Yeah, it wasn't an evil semi-automatic shotgun. But, dude, you should have seen their face when you broke out and said, yeah, we're filling this up with slugs. And you got to be accurate with it. So trying to get 5 slugs on target at 15 yards took about 6 seconds. Took a little over 6 seconds for these guys to do it. And all of them were in the black. Pretty amazing when people say you can't rapid fire slugs. Because I know one literally weak, soft dude on this podcast that has to use low recoil flight control stuff in his 12 gauge. He wouldn't have done well on this.
I can shoot a shotgun. I just prefer
when you're
not full loads.
I just prefer not to beat myself up worse than I have to.
Not full loads, but you
come on, you want to be a man.
Hey, look, hey, leave Zane alone. Birdshot for self-defense is very important, and he can do it.
No.
Yes,
No.
because I get attacked by canaries every night in my house.
No.
Yes,
So
that
that's
was
what we
evil
did. It
me
was
attack
awesome.
canaries. They come into my house. I need to use birdshot.
But the cool thing is, the guys had a great time. Sportsmanship was off the hook. I'm telling you guys, it was really worth doing. Sean and I were really happy that everyone enjoyed themselves. And wow, I just blanked out. And I can't remember who. I mean, I can't.
I can tell you why, Tony.
I'm old. It's my birthday. Leave
Exactly.
me alone.
Tomorrow's your birthday, so you're old. You forget things when you get old.
Dude,
Trust
it really
me, I know.
sucks.
Yep. Okay,
Where
we'll
are my
move.
pants?
We'll move on to
No,
what did you do, Zaid?
Nothing.
Okay.
What?
Well,
Come on,
No,
dude.
Like
I
nothing?
didn't. I really. It's been a busy week, at work and stuff. So I didn't go to the range. I didn't do anything.
Oh,
I don't believe.
I mean, after you slam your finger in your car door, you didn't do anything?
No, I especially didn't after that. It hurt.
Man.
Oh,
Hurt.
sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it hurts. That's why people don't do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like
not.
go smart. No, that wasn't that
I mean,
smart.
I'd recommend if you're considering slamming your fingers in your truck door to not. That'd be my advice.
Yeah,
So,
I
how
would
bad was
recommend
it?
that, Zane.
How bad was it? I mean, could you operate your hand? Like, do you have to change and start shooting offhand now?
That if I would have had to burn somebody down that night, yeah, it would have had to been left-handed. I actually had to use a drill bit and relieve the pressure on 2 of the fingernails, and they're good
Nice.
now. I did some dry fire work last night, so that's what I did, guys. I did some dry fire work, just to see if I could even press a trigger, and they're getting better now. So I'm hoping I got a class next week, a 5-day pistol shotgun class. I'm hoping by then it's better, but if not, I'll just shoot the whole thing left-handed.
Dude.
Okay. Whatever.
I'm going.
Oh, and by the way, worst segue ever. Angelo won the Minuteman Challenge. I'm just hearing gunshots outside my window here. Yeah, Angelo kicked butt, man. It was awesome. Oh,
Good job, brother.
Here's what happened. South River, New Jersey, just right before we started the podcast and came on air, supposedly they got some kind of threat of active shooter showing up at school tomorrow. All right. So that's been going out over the internet here in my town. And then just heard a bunch of sirens outside, and now I heard a bunch of pops, but I'm not hearing any more sirens, so I have no idea what it is. It just could have all happened at the same time. Who knows? More in the newspaper.
Sweet. Well,
so is it like midterm exams? I don't know. I mean, I've
no,
never had somebody dial
tomorrow.
yes, hi, I'm going to go attack your school tomorrow, so please be ready.
Yeah, that's not very typical.
I think it's the modern version of bomb threats that used to happen in our schools growing up.
Yeah.
Big test comes up. There's a bomb threat phoned in.
Big test. Yep. I'm about on Zane's level. I didn't really do anything with firearms this week because, well, I was working overtime to pay for my trip to SHOT Show, so that's what I did. I did, however, get this super sweet barrel from Faxon Firearms for a Glock 19.
Ooh,
which,
sexy.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty good looking. They asked me what color I wanted, and I have a slide. Well, a slide's coming in for review from it's going to be a Cerakote review.
Does it
and
go
also
off? Does it have flames on it?
Yeah.
No, I'm just laughing.
No, but
I'm laughing because
almost.
Chad, what color you want? Chad goes, green. Green is for the money and gold is for the honeys.
Well, in that case, I got gold. Oh crap!
Is
that
Cerakote gold or tin coated?
It's tin coated.
Tin. Okay.
And so it's pretty nice. But I have a slide coming from Freedom Flag Products to review, and the slide is also getting Cerakoted. And so I don't know what this slide looks like or what the Cerakote looks like. So I sent the Cerakoter down at Nevada Cerakote a message and said, hey, what color barrel should I get with this? Here's my options. And he said gold's probably going to look the best. So I'm hoping
All right.
that comes in pretty soon because I'm pretty excited to see it because I have no clue what it looks like. So there's that. I figure I did get everything set, so I will be going to SHOT Show for a few days. I get to go to range day thanks to the AR-15 podcast people. I am their crew, so I get to go. And I thank JD over there for doing that for me, and that's going to be pretty sweet. So that's all I did in firearms. And since everybody else's is better than mine, we'll go into the announcements. And our bandwidth sponsor is the infamous, you like that, Patriot Patch Company. New patches for pre-order. Looks like pretty much the same ones. Join the Patch of the Month Club because it is awesome. If you want to support us, you can go to the firearmsradio.tv/pledge gun gear review podcast and pledge your support. If you want to pledge support for other Firearms Radio Network stuff, you can also go to firearmsradio.tv/pledge. And I don't know why you would want to, but, hey, some people might want to. I'm trying to think of somebody you'd want to support. Maybe the Off-Road Podcast because they don't deal with guns. Okay, there we go. If you're shopping Amazon, please use our affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon, especially since it is the Christmas season coming up. Use that and help support all of the radio station stuff. Yeah. If you're shopping at Black Bag Resources and want to give Tony some love, use the code Simon Says Train, and anything you put in your cart and check out with will be donated to Tony. We do not have a review tonight because, well, I just didn't get around. Yeah, that's it. Okay. But we do have.
We're getting ready for the Thanksgiving weekend, okay?
Yeah, so, we're drinking beer and getting fat, whatever.
Getting fat?
But, yep.
Too late.
Yeah.
Too late. Yeah. So tonight in the product spotlight, we're going to start off with the Bushnell XRS 2. And what this is Bushnell's new top-of-the-line long-distance scope, pretty much. It's hard to find an actual MSRP on this baby. I looked around, and basically the best I could find is about $2,249. And I don't know if that's for the illuminated reticle version or one of the others. Okay, so we'll go into some specs on this thing. It is 4.5 to 30 by 50. There's a couple different reticles. Basically it's a G3 reticle, which is some MOA, or wait, that's a mil reticle like most people use. One of the options is, I think, a Horus reticle. It's a 50 millimeter objective lens. And we'll go through what they say. The ED Prime Glass delivers colorful, high contrast images in any light. So if you actually are shooting at a unicorn, you may be able to see what beautiful colors it has before you kill it.
Yeah, because other scopes only have black and white images when you look through them. They're not colorful or high contrast. They're grainy black and white images.
They're basically right. It's just their stuff, but it's got an exobarrier TM lens coating. It's molecular bonded to the glass to repel water, oil, fog, dust, and debris. It's got a removable throw lever, which, not all scopes come with. That's kind of cool. It's 10 mils per revolution on elevation and windage. It's available in gray, black, and flat dark earth. The one we're kind of discussing is the one with the illuminated reticle. They have ones without it, if you would like. It is a first focal plane. The normal, it uses a 34 millimeter tube. The parallax adjustment is 75 yards to infinity. So I guess if you're shooting at 50 yards, don't buy the scope. I don't know. It weighs 37.8 ounces, which seems like a lot, but when you look at other scopes in this magnification, etc., they all weigh about 32 to like 40 ounces. I mean, yeah, it weighs them as much as like a 1911, but hey, whatever. It's
Put it on your lightweight AR bill.
That's right. Double the weight of your AR build. Typical eye relief, exit pupils, all that crap. It does have 0.1 mil click adjustments. It also have a zero stop. So, that's always nice when you're dealing with a long range scope and you want to dial stuff. I put a link to Bushnell's site and also a link to the Firearm blog. Did a little post on it. I guess Recoil Web did an article on it also, but when I did the show notes, they hadn't released it yet. So I'm going to say it's a pretty nice scope. Ballpark with the rest of them, but I think it's just kind of one of those things. You have so many options now. You kind of pick whichever one you like. Okay.
Yeah,
Tony.
I really think it again falls back into the we're in the golden age of firearms development, optics, and everything else, and not as in it's innovative designs coming out, and it's also getting less and less expensive for the regular person to step into this. What did you say, or what did you guesstimate the MSRP to be on this?
The only thing I could find is on the Firearm blog article. It says it's estimate of about $22.49, but
okay,
I'm thinking that's for probably the non-illuminated one.
I have no idea. I mean, my thing is I don't do long range shooting, and thank goodness with a, what is it, 4 to 30?
Yeah, basically 4.5 to 30.
Yes, 4.5 to 30. So obviously this is set up for plinking with a 1022. No, I don't do any long range shooting, so I have no idea. I just know when you buy an optic, it should cost the same. That's the guideline people talk about. It should be the same as how much your firearm costs. I mean, that would be a guideline.
Yeah, a rough guideline.
And it's supposedly is in the price of good glass. Not great glass, but good glass. I mean, this is not Night Force pricing, but it is like Loophole, Vortex. What is it? What's the PTS?
Well, you get the Vortex Viper PTS. Was it PST?
Yeah.
Those are like half this price. So
yeah, those are a lower end on the Vortex side.
Wait a minute. I always confuse
Razor
Vortex.
HD or something. That's the Vortex that would be comparable to this price because
there you go.
But that's actually it's in the $3,500 price point. But I see them online for $2,500. So I don't know what you're going to spec out at.
I'm guessing they're gonna, but it really has a price on them. I'm guessing they're probably in that market or similar.
I mean, well, like I said, MSRP is always up here, and then usually you can pick it up for 80, 70, 80%.
Right, and it's basically a long range scope. I have one of the Viper PST Gen 2s in for review, and it's not this quality or price range, but it does use an MRAD reticle, and it has the 0.1 mils and a zero stop. And I must admit that the zero stop and the 0.1 mil adjustments are really nice. I mean, if you're shooting, low, you basically just click it the amount you're shooting low. And I mean, Rob can kind of help with that too, because he's got, I think, one of the original Viper PSTs.
Yeah, I've got the Gen 1 first focal plane. Mine's an MOA, not mil-dot, but I mean, the reality is you're talking, the difference between one, I think MOA gets you a little finer adjustment, but That's the one I used when I did that long range shooting class earlier this year, and that's the same scope I'm going to use when I do the phase 2 and phase 3 of the class, hopefully next spring, if I can get the time off of work to take the class. But I mean,
what was the magnification on when you used the class?
The one I had was 6 to 24, and I'll be honest with you, at 500 yards, I did not have it cranked up to 24 power.
Oh, of course not. I mean, one of the things I heard, and I was listening to one of the guys on one of the other classes on Firearms Radio Network, and he was like, yeah, people use too much magnification. All of a sudden now, breathing in and out, and the reticle's all over the place. Because you have it.
Oh, yeah. Like if I crank that.
It's like 1 to 1.5, maybe 2 per 100 yards is what I think one of the guys over at the Precision was talking about.
Until you get older, and then you can double it.
We're so far outside my lane right now. I don't know anything about
like with me, even at like 200 yards, if I'm shooting and I gotta have that vortex cranked up to 25 power, which it's a 5 to 25, I can, if I'm shooting from a bench, every time my heart beats, it moves.
Seriously? You had that thing cranked up to 25 power at 200 yards?
Well, I'm checking the scope out.
That scope must have been jumping like a freaking Mexican jumping bean.
No, it was only.
Well, it's got to be.
It was only moving like an inch off of the target.
It's got to be scary for Chad though, because at his age, his heart stops beating every now and again because it forgets to.
Well, that's when I pull the trigger.
That's bad if it stops beating. That means the scope's not going to jump.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, I was just trying it out because shooting at that power, like everybody says, it's too much.
It's a waste of time.
But like with this, they say it's good to 1,000 yards. Well, you could probably get past that with this Bushnell if you wanted to. I mean, at 30 power, you're going to be looking. I mean, you're going to be able to see some stuff at 30 power. I mean, I don't have the greatest vision, but like I said before, the key with it is the 75-yard parallax adjustment, which, because it's a long-range scope, really isn't that bad. But somebody's going to buy one and try shooting stuff at like 25 yards with it.
How much?
Yeah, the minimum power on this thing is 4.5. So I mean,
yeah. Excuse my ignorance, but how much parallax are you really going to have at 50 yards?
Well, it's not so much that it's the parallax. Yeah, you're not going to get much, but if you can't focus down to that, you're going to have a slightly blurry sight picture.
See,
and of course, at more magnification.
I know very little about optics, so I just listen to dudes that do. And I was listening to Ryan Kleckner. He has Trigger Words podcast on Firearms Radio Network, and he was talking about he did a 1,000-yard shot standing with a Barrett, and he said he pretty much wouldn't have used more than 5 power on that optic at 1,000. He said people just use way too much magnification. So I'm listening to them talk about this will hit at 1,000 with 30 magnification. I'm like,
yes,
I think this also.
Yeah.
Now, this is just me talking from ignorance and only listen to a couple of people like him who said that, though. I'm like, I think we get into that, like, with velocity wars with certain rounds. Like, the faster the bullet, like, everyone acts like as if it's better. And I think this is the same thing sometimes. Maybe, and again, I'm just going maybe, with magnification. Like, those high numbers everybody's impressed by until it's practical application.
Yeah.
What was that?
That's sexy though, because the bigger magnification, the tighter you can zoom in. But also, like we're saying, the tighter you zoom it in, the less field of view you're going to have.
Yep.
Yeah, because when you're just like that, you're going to be able to see a lot more than when you zoom in. When you zoom in, you're going to your reticle is going to bounce around. So
you're also going to get less light transmission through. Also,
true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's where, in this case, the 34 millimeter tube and the 50 millimeter directive lens helps out with light transmission.
Yeah.
What does this say?
Your field of view millimeter.
At 100 yards, at 4.5 is 24 feet. At 30x is you have a field of view of 3.6 feet at 100 yards. So as you can guess, that's it's not much.
Yeah.
You know.
It's recoil taking you completely off the target.
Oh yeah. And that's where if you turn it down to even 10 power, you're going to get what, maybe 10 feet of field of view, so you can still see your target maybe.
I don't know. Like Zane, I'm kind of out of my lane on this. It was just something that I just heard today while listening to Trigger Word, or listen to listen to Ryan on some show. He was talking about it.
It's one of his podcasts that he has. But if you're in the market for this kind of scope, I would look at it. I mean,
yeah,
you don't have to use the full 30 power. I mean, it's just there if you actually need it. Yeah, Rob?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying you're right. I mean, my only question is I'm not very familiar with Bushnell products, so I'm not sure how good or what kind of quality the glass is going to be.
Depends.
And this is their top of the line. And years ago, since some people, they had Bushnell and then they had Bausch and Lomb.
Mm-hmm.
And they made scopes, and their higher end were the Bausch and Lomb scopes, and then they combined them. And
that's kind of what's hanging me up on this. Like, I know most of the companies have like their different products that come in at different price points, but like, I don't know if I want a high end scope from the same person that has the one for $40 on the shelf at Walmart.
Right.
See, but I think, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, that's the thing, is this is their high end scope. And if you actually ever get to look through one of their higher end scopes, they actually are really nice to look through. Even
I think what they did was, I think they went with different manufacturers. Don't you think? Like they have their high end version that they put their name on, and then they have their lower version they put their name. It's not the same.
Right.
I don't think it's the same manufacturer.
I think their high end ones are made in Japan. I'm not. Don't quote me on this. And then like their cheaper ones are China made, like everybody else's. But not saying you can't get good stuff from China if they have the right quality controls, but they are. I can say they do make a nice scope in their higher end line. I used to have one of their just elite straight 10x fixed scopes that they make. They still make them, and they're like what, $250. And for a fixed 10x scope for that price, they're actually a really good deal. I mean, you look through them, and they're quite clear for what you're getting. And being a fixed scope.
I wonder how it works out for them. I mean, like, again, you don't have a lot of money, so you get a TRS 25,
right?
And that thing has a bluish tinge to it, and that's like the first thing you put on maybe an airsoft gun or your 1022 for plinking or something like that. You get some money together, you buy your AR, and then you buy one of their AR entry level, like 250, 300. Like as you go up, when you get to the $2,000 rifle that you're going to use for precision competition, years after you've been in shooting, do you still go with Bushnell, or do you like branch out and get something else because, well, you started out with a sub $100 Bushnell and now you're dropping $2,000 and you're still buying Bushnells?
I mean, and I don't know if that
goes together,
Yeah, I don't know if that hurts them, Tony.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, I really don't know.
I think I made a misstatement earlier. I do have a Bushnell red dot, and I do have a Bushnell one of those 1-4 scopes from my close your ears, Zane. On my Tavor, I have a Bushnell. I think it's a 1-4.
Yeah, one of their like 1-4 AR scopes or something.
Yeah. It was like a kit. I bought it together and blah blah blah.
I got a buddy who's got a Bushnell 1-4 on a AR pistol.
And
I can't
that's the thing is,
Bushnell or Nikon.
When most people think of Bushnell, they think of the, lower end, middle end of the road scopes, but they do make high end scopes. So, I mean, I just, how it is. I figured, hey, we'll discuss a high end scope.
Yeah,
nothing's wrong with that. I mean, I mean, it's a first focal plane. Shoot, maybe it's just
Yeah.
because it says Bushnell. It might be a better deal than something you'll pay, what, 10, 20% more for just the name.
Yeah, it
Meanwhile, it's the same
might be
class quality.
comparable to a
Well, who paid
$3,000 scope.
10-20% more for a name? I mean, who want to buy like a Zeiss or a Schmidt and Bender scope? Whoops.
A lot of yeah, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm
We're
going
not
to get some
raising
hate mail for
hands,
that
right?
one.
No, you're not. Nobody cares what you say.
Yeah, did Rob say
Probably.
something? I think he was muted.
Yeah, I love you guys too. But friends like you, who needs enemies?
Exactly. Okay.
No, I mean,
well,
like I said, I don't have very much experience with this particular scope. I wish I had a big gun store around here where they'd stock a bunch of scopes before I go there and say, okay, let me see your loophole, let me see a vortex, let me see his Bushnell scope, and compare the three together, take them outside. Because back when I lived in North Carolina, there was a gun store that had that. I mean, I'd sit outside the front of the store with 3 or 4 different scopes, just looking down the road, sighting stuff in, seeing which had the better glass, which had the better parallax adjustments. You know how tough the turrets were to manipulate.
Yep.
But hey, here's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing is you kind of I'm in the market of if you want a scope, you definitely should look through 2 or 3 or whatever you have in mind first. Even if you have to drive, a couple hours to get to a store that has them, it's probably worth it, especially if you're spending, $2,200 on a scope or something.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so now we're going to go into a rifle that you probably don't want to mount this Bushnell scope on. And that is
this is to do a test of how well it will function after you put a few rounds downrange.
That might work, but it's only in 5.56. So what we have here is the Zenith Z43P rifle. And what it is it's kind of a Set Me HK clone made in Turkey. And I guess now they're being imported and are legal to be imported by Zenith Firearms, of course. It's 5.56 NATO caliber. It has an overall length of 39 inches with the stock and 31 inches without the stock. And you can get it with a folding stock, so I'm guessing that's like 31 inches. It comes with your standard 16-inch barrel, hammer forged, if it matters to you. Here's the thing that kills me. It weighs in at 9 pounds, 7.5 without the stock. What kind of stock weighs 1.5 pounds? Right. It's semi-auto roller delayed blowback. It's 1-in-7 twist. It uses the standard rear drum elevation and windage sights. It's 30 round mag, of course. It comes in black, and a carrying case, some extra takedown pins. I guess maybe you lose them. Pick rail on top for optics, 3 magazines. It does have a 15x1 right hand metric threaded muzzle brake end with a muzzle brake on it. MSRP is $1,874 to $1,999. Basically, it's with and without the stock. I mean,
that stock does not look like it weighs 1.5 pounds to me. But
hey, I don't know, but I'm just thinking
the conversion got caught up between metric and US.
7.5 pounds without a stock. I mean, okay, yeah, I know some guns are heavy, and this style is heavier than others, but I don't know if I would want that.
Well, here's the thing. It's really funny because Sean and I have been yelling about this for years, ever since one M16A2 weighs 8.9 pounds. All right, that was 20-inch barrel, and the not even rails on it. There's still, and it had regular hand guards, that waffle pattern or whatever you want to call it. So sometimes we forget that guns are heavier than they look. Now, this is a HK pattern rifle. They're heavy because Turkey's getting every bit an ounce of use out of those HK machines that they bought from Germany back in the day, and they're running them to death. And they are heavier rifles. It's just that simple. Everything is not an AR. These are heavier, and most everybody was fine with that in 2014. But now they act like, oh my God, I'm going to throw my back out if I pick this up. And it's like, nah, that's how much your rifles used to. That's how much your Daniel Defense weighed with a quad rail on it years ago. And now just because you're using M-Lock and you dropped the weight 2 pounds, now everyone's trying to get a sub 6 pound AR.
Yeah, but this uses M-Lock.
The world. Yeah, believe me, it's HK design. It's going to be heavy.
Did Ryan design this?
HKs are heavy.
Yeah.
Did Ryan put this review out there for us?
No.
Yeah.
What I did.
This is basically just a 922R compliant HK clone. Yep. I mean, that's really
that's exactly what it is. I'm assuming now. Go with me here. That if you have a registered HK sear pack, it may fit in here and work.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, you could have some fun.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be herstory to put a HK sear pack in a non-HK rifle?
What do you mean non-HK? This thing was built on HK machines.
Yeah,
this thing is
it's basically HK. It's just made in Turkey.
Made in Turkey. That's all. Built on their machines and everything. So it is HK. But I went around and I tried to find something. I checked out a couple of reviews of this when it was just a pistol, and the machine marks on it were ridiculous. The weld marks and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, that's a lot of money to pay for something that might have horrible fit and finish.
Yeah, and that's what I would worry about, because a lot of the rifles and such that come from Turkey do have, finish
issues.
Yeah, not like the country and the people, but finish issues.
No, because I have a finished Mosin and it's finished well.
Yeah.
But just as something sometimes to do with the coating, sometimes to do with the quality control. But if you want something that's not an AR and this still has that HK coolness without, the HK hate, because HK hates you.
Yeah, here's the problem with the HK coolness, though. The HK fanboys, the people that are into the HK coolness, they want HKs. They want the gun to say Heckler and Koch on the side.
They want it?
Wow,
yeah,
gee, you can substitute HK for Glock and you got our buddy Zane.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know that a clone is going to really appeal to the HK fans, and I'm not really sure that a $2,000 9-pound 5.56 is going to really appeal to anybody who's not a fan of the HK system.
Yeah,
right.
I really believe that it's gonna have fans, because no one wants to drop the $4,000 on the HK, so they'll get this.
There's that.
They'll slowly get this and put every HK attachment and thing they can possibly put on it, and take it to the range. And the weight is no issue, because as far as it'll go is from the trunk of the car to the range and back. No one's gonna run classes with this. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's going to the range to the bench, the parking lot to the bench and back.
I'd run a class with this.
Classes with this.
I would.
No, you'd walk a class with this.
I would.
You walk a class.
If I could figure out the manual of arms, of course, because.
Yeah.
It's not an AR. It's not an AR.
The thing is, I like the HK. I personally like shooting HK platform rifles like this. It's just a personal preference. I mean, but the problem I have is I'm still not going to pay $2,000 for this rifle.
No.
But even if I like it, it's still one of those. But a lot of people will, because it's still half the price of an HK. So if you like how it shoots,
and
you want,
let's not forget, HK the HK hates their customers. So if this company maybe if they have good customer service and stuff, I don't know. I don't know anything about Zenith.
Well,
I don't even think they.
this is going to be something else.
I don't even think they need. I don't even think they need good customer service. Just not to have HK kind of
better than HK's customer service.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means
okay, you win.
phone and say, "Sorry, we're going to put you on hold for 2 hours," and people would be like, "Oh, that's better."
Yeah, HK wouldn't answer the phone. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah,
I'm
they
trying to look
answered
up
it.
how much. Yeah, so was it PTR?
Yeah. PTR
makes the 308 version, and I'm looking at it going, well,
G5 or something, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to scroll through it because right now we're at Full Size Rifles from PTR, which is another company that makes HK clones, and we're at $1,000 for full size.
You can pick those up new for $700-800, depending on where you pick them up at.
Yeah, I just went to Atlantic Firearms because I knew they'd have them.
Okay.
What I really wanted to do was find the weight. How much does this thing weigh?
9 pounds, they say.
This thing, okay, I'm looking at the 308 version of a 308 version of the same gun from PTR, and it weighs 9 pounds.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, though, because really, if you look at these, the sizes for between this and a 308 variant
are the same,
are pretty close to the same. So I guess.
So if I had a choice between the two and less money to be spent on a PTR and a 308, yeah, I'm rocking with the 308 because again, the weight is the same. And I'm going with I'm going with the PTR at 9.75 pounds with an 18-inch match grade barrel.
Well, and the thing is,
I think I'd go with the SBR version of it. They got if you go on the bottom of the link, they got an SBR with a 12-inch barrel, and it's still heavy. It's still coming in at over 8 pounds.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I just
the price is still ridiculous, right?
Yeah, the price is actually a few dollars more, for lopping 4 inches off the barrel. I don't understand that one. But,
well, that's because they're dealing with all the crap from the NFA.
Yeah, and how much is it again?
The SBR version.
I got multiple pages open.
The SBR is between 19 and 20.
Yeah, that's because of the NFA crap you're dealing with.
Probably.
Oh my goodness, yeah. You know what? Don't even worry about it. I'd totally skip over all that and go with 308 for half the price, the pistol version, with anywhere between 8 and 11-inch barrels. You still don't come above $1,575, and that's again Atlantic Firearms. But it's a fun gun, man. If you want to spend it and have an HK clone at 5.56, why the heck not? And more than likely, if you get one of these, you'll probably already have a 308 version because, again, you're a fanboy and that's what you dig.
That's probably it.
Yeah, I mean, I've met one of the guys at the range. He has a PTR. Yeah, there are other guns he could have had, but he was like, I like this one. And who am I? I mean, some people are just tired of the AR Kool-Aid. Everything doesn't have to be an AR or an AK.
Well, I've got a PTR, and it's a really nice gun. I'm not gonna say it's great, but the really neat thing about it is you can pick up surplus magazines for like $4 a mag.
Yeah,
all day long.
Yeah,
and with this, you're not gonna do that because you're by the looks of it, it really say you're using the HK 223 5.56 mags.
Not only that, but if you got a PTR.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, if you got a PTR, don't be a reloader because it dings the neck of the cartridge every time it puts a dent in the neck of the cartridge every time it ejects it. So you really,
you're not reloading safely reload them. No.
Mm-mm. Yep. I'm guessing this being a 5.56 is still going to ding the cases and such because the style of rifle it is. It's the positive ejection those things have is just. I mean, if you're mad at somebody, you can just shoot next to them and just point the rifle in the right direction and just, beat them with brass all day long.
The PTR will eject rounds at about a 45-degree angle, almost right out in front of you. I mean, just throws it out there.
These HKs, the only thing that I've seen ever come close to the HK ejection pattern is Com Block Russian SKS that just flings and AKs. And it looks like it's just flinging stuff as far away as possible.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. So I guess that pretty much does it for our stuff tonight. I couldn't find any listener feedback because Ed hasn't sent us any yet. Give him the email address, and he still doesn't send any. So we'll go to Tony.
Ed, you're slacking.
I know.
Hold on. Hey, Zane, tell your boy Ed, your number one fan, that he needs to get busy and send a letter.
I'll let him know.
I'll let him know.
I know y'all look tight.
Tony, it's all
hey,
you.
guys. Yep. Second is for everyone. Diversity Shoot. The last one of the year is coming up November 30th at Gun for Hire Range in Woodland Park. If you live in Jersey, I hope you can make it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to be on the Gun for Hire radio. You'll be able to listen to the episode Sunday if you want to go check it out. We have a lot of cool stuff. We welcome all people. So if you're planning on coming, bring someone who's not a shooter, because we reduced the price to $10. The range was nice enough to reduce the price to $10. We're going to have pizza. We're going to have raffle prizes. First 10 people are going to get a gift bag. We're going to have a lot of guns. There were over 200 rental guns that are free that night as a member of, as an attendee of the Second is for Everyone. You can buy our shirts online at diversityshoot.com. You can even download our podcast at diversityshoot.com, which is 2A4E podcast, which is Sean and I. If you want to help us out, you can go to GoFundMe and just type in The Second is for Everyone, and it'll pull up our page. What I'm trying to do is hopefully you guys can help out, and I can buy a lot of stuff for Black Friday and spend the next year giving it away. I'm kind of frugal, if you don't know, tactically frugal. And I just try to buy things and give them away all year. So I appreciate you guys having me on the show, like I tell you every week. I appreciate everyone that's donated and sent me letters and emails. I do read them, and I thank you guys. Check out us. Check out Simon Says Train on Instagram and Facebook. Check out The Second is for Everyone on Facebook. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Yep. So we are moving into the wrap up. Send questions or comments to gungearreview@gmail.com. That's you, Ed. Remember to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. I guess that could be for you too, Ed. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. Check us out on Facebook at /Firearms Insider, and follow us on Instagram also at Firearms Insider. And we are out.
Bye,
Felicia.